.NET 6 Preview 3 just dropped, which means there's a new preview of .NET MAUI to build iOS, Android, macOS, and now Windows applications with WinUI 3. So let's check it out. Hey everyone, I'm James Montemagno. I'm back with another .NET MAUI preview, hands-on, let's just kind of do this type of thing. I've done a few videos already on the first preview, which now we're on preview 3. Preview 2 kind of skipped, but because it was in preview 2 of .NET 6, yeah, it works out. Just now, really, the preview versions will all sort of align, from my understanding. But yes, the .NET 6 preview 3 just dropped, and a new version of .NET MAUI is now available to get testing on. And the big thing here is that WinUI 3 support was added for Windows applications. It's very exciting. Previously, we took a look at just kind of building Android applications and the code to build for macOS and iOS from Visual Studio, Command Line, and VS Code. But now there's a lot more in here. I'm also going to put a link up over here, which is my wait for .NET MAUI or just keep building right now with xamarin.forms. And you should definitely go learn some xamarin.forms and check out all of my xamarin.forms 101 videos, because all of those things will come over and convert and update to .NET MAUI this fall when it's released. But hey, let's go check out what's in the latest preview. Well, the first thing is that you may have saw me on Twitter tweet this, which was I put out this little image saying that .NET 6 Preview 3 was out. And this is iOS, Android, macOS, and WinUI with a WinUI desktop application. I then went on later and revised it a little bit more because our good friend Craig Dunn reminded us that, of course, since you can run Android, you can put this on the Surface Duo. This is a beautiful picture of all of the possibilities that you can do with .NET MAUI today, which is really, really cool. Now, David put out this awesome blog post that goes along with the .NET 6 Preview 3 blog, which is really cool. He talks all about Windows desktop support right here, that now it'll run on WinUI 3 and Project Reunion, which is really cool. We'll take a look at that here in a second. He also talks about a new tool that is really cool. I was testing it before it was released, which is the .NET MAUI Check from our good friend John Dick. I believe this may become an official tool. I'm not really positive. I hope it does, but it is a .NET global tool, and it, for all intents and purposes, installs all the stuff that you're gonna need. So it installs .NET 6, it installs updates for Visual Studio, installs JDK, Android, the SDKs, all this stuff as .NET MAUI is updating. So it's really, really cool. They also talk about the new host builder extensions that we talked about in the last video on the first preview of .NET MAUI. But here they break down a little bit more about the startup, configuration with the iPage and MAUI context. Here they actually show you how you can register lifecycle events for the different platforms, which I think is really neat, and how you can use Xamarin Essentials. I think this is really, really cool because it enables you to easily light up the different features of Xamarin Essentials. And then finally, for the real big host builder, if you want to kind of do everything all in your shared code, you can easily add all of your configurations in a single file, which I think is just really spectacular. There's all sorts of great other updates here talking about the community, different syntax, updates for accessibility. You should just read the blog post, to be honest with you. But let's go ahead and get started. What I want to do is scroll back up here to the top, and I want to install this .NET global tool called MAUI Check. All right, so let's go ahead over here into my command prompt. Now, if you already have the .NET global tool installed for MAUI Check and you run this command prompt, it will just go ahead and automatically update. Now, I did go ahead and I ran the command prompt here in administrator mode, which is important. And here we go. So it's already updated and it's good to go. And that is nice because when you install the MAUI Check, it will automatically do all the stuff for you. So let's do that, MAUI Check. I also like MAUI Check because MAUI Check will also make sure that MAUI Check is updated. That's also kind of cool too. All right, check this out. So far here, we see that it's, I have Visual Studio 16.9.3 and 16.10 Preview 1 in there. I have the JDKs installed. I have the Android SDKs installed. I have the emulators installed. However, I do not have Preview 3 of .NET 6. So let's install it and continue on. This will download and install everything that I need right here on my machine. So let's go ahead and give it a few seconds. All right, now that it has .NET 6 Preview 3 installed, now it's going to check for some other things. It's also going to check to make sure that I have the actual SDKs installed. Now I had the last preview, so we're going to need to install the latest and greatest. So let's go ahead and install all of the SDKs, as we can see here, for Android, iOS, Mac Catalyst, tvOS, and macOS support right here. Let's go ahead and do it. Now, beyond that, there's a bunch of other additional installs that it's going to do, such as the Windows SDK, Android SDK, a bunch of other stuff like MAUI templates. And again, go ahead and install those now. All right, check this out. So now we're fully done. It's installed everything. It's done all of our checks, everything we could possibly want. And I can just hit enter to exit, and we're totally good to go. Now, what I like here is if I say .NET new, it's going to list all of our templates, and we can see that everything's been installed for us. So we have a new .NET MAUI application, .NET MAUI mobile app, and then we also have our Android application, class libraries, iOS, all the good stuff that's inside of here, which is really, really cool. So for example, let's go back over here to my CD users /mots. And let's do CD desktop, CD dir, CD, say documents. And let's do make dir test P3. And let's CD test P3. Let's just do .NET new MAUI. All right. And here's what it's going to do. It's going to automatically now install and create our .NET MAUI application. I'm just going to say code dot, and this will go ahead and open the project in VS Code. So we have our .NET MAUI application. We have Android, iOS, and Mac Catalyst here. It looks like these templates still need to be updated to add WinUI 3 there. But we'll note is that I have a single CS proj with our .NET iOS, .NET Android, Mac Catalyst, single project. And these are things that are evolving, right? So we've seen some changes here already, such as this MAUI image. That's brand new. I think it was shared image before. So that's new and evolving. We have our startup. So this is that forms compatibility that we saw earlier. Let's go make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And next, we also have our main window. So this is actually brand new. We have this I window, which is kind of a replacement of our app, which just took in a page. Now we have an I page and a MAUI context that we can light up things. Our main page, well, that's a bunch of labels and buttons and things like that. So that looks good. Here we have some build, looks like shared targets. That's kind of nice. I don't know what's all in there. That's cool. Our app XAML, that's going to be our shared XAML resources, and our CS. Now, of course, you can also create all of this in C# too. So if you want to use XAML, you can use XAML. You can also use everything in C# instead of using XAML. That's an option too. But this is cool. See, we have create window, and we just have an application here. That's evolved too over time. And this is going to use that forms compatibility pack, because right now, all of the handlers for .NET MAUI, all the new controls aren't in there yet, but we have that new window. Now, also, we saw that we have the SVG icons and app icons in there in our resource folder. And then, of course, we have our iOS, our Android, our Mac Catalyst builds right there. So we're good to go. Now, if we head back over to that blog post, you'll see there's a getting started section here. This actually walks you through this here. It tells you how to run MAUI check. Optionally, you can put on the dev flag, it looks like. Here, make sure it has everything installed, except for the WinUI 3 stuff. If you want that, you're going to have to follow this startup guide to make sure you have the latest Visual Studio 2019 preview and all the things that you need in there. Then it's go time. So here we already did this. That's good. We did code dot, already did that. That's good. Now it does say we need to add this configuration here. So let's go ahead and do that into our root. That looks like it's the newest thing that we need to add. They're probably not adding in the templates because it's not necessarily required bit yet. So NuGet.config. So if I just tap on this, do this, NuGet.config, add that there, paste it in. This is going to give us the NuGet feed because they're not public yet. Then what we can do is come back to our docs and say .NET restore. So let's go ahead and give that a try. Over here, .NET restore. So it'll restore all of our NuGet packages. Now it should know where everything is at based on our configuration. And obviously in the future, you wouldn't have to add this NuGet config because it'll be up on NuGet 100%. So let's see if this gives it a go. And of course, the next thing we'll need to do is have Visual Studio. It says in Visual Studio, select your emulator device, click the play button. Then to .NET CLI, do this. Seems good. All right, so next thing what we're going to do is we're going to do a .NET build trun, and we're going to tell it to run on Android. Now, one thing that you probably will need to do is launch Visual Studio and go to Tools, Android Device Manager, which will go ahead and bring up the Android Device Manager right here. And you'll need to launch an Android device, or you can plug in your Android phone. And right now the command line isn't able to launch the device, so it makes sense here. So here we go, and we'll be able to run this. All right, so let's go back over to Visual Studio Code, and all I got to do is just paste this in here. Let's take a look over here. .NET build run Android. Let's launch it. This will build up the application. It should go ahead and package up our app and then deploy it over to the device. I like to always kind of scroll up here. Oh, there it is already. And look at that. Got 8 seconds to deploy it and build it all up very, very fast. There we go. Welcome to .NET MAUI App UI, and you can click, 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 and of course you can get everything that you'd want. If I go over to my main page, I could go ahead and set this to purple, hit save over here and redeploy. Right now, the tooling isn't in there for the hot reload. That'll be in Visual Studio for our XAML that we know and love. So right now, it's sort of this manual process. But you have all of your different controls. We can actually see on platform here, which is kind of cool. We can see things there, and look at that. Now we got this big purple application, which is quite nice. Now, there's quite a lot more that is going on inside of this announcement post. They talked about all the different first applications, the lifecycle events, everything inside of here. But they also talked about some of the new enhancements going on at github.com/.net/net6 mobile samples. These have been updated to the latest and greatest. So these are what we tried out last time. We can see that now there's F# samples, there's Mac Catalyst, macOS, MAUI, WinUI 3 inside of here, and of course the mobile sample setup. So if you want to see that in here and install everything manually like we did previously, you can go ahead and do that and look at everything here. But we also want to check out this WinUI 3. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've installed all of the Project Reunion bits and pieces that you need. So for example, you need to use 16.10 preview. You need to make sure that you install the specific workload with the Windows 10 SDK. Then of course you need to make sure you update your NuGet feeds and install the Project Reunion extension, all that good stuff inside of here. There it is. And I've done that over here. So if we go to extensions, manage, installed, Project Reunion right there. So here, what we'll see is that we have all the different projects in here, and the WinUI 3.1 is right here. So let's go ahead and open it up. And I'm going to open this solution. Now, if you've never seen a WinUI 3 Project Reunion app, then it may be a little bit new to you. In fact, there are a few projects in here. So it's kind of right now, it does build and deploy, which is really nice, but it sort of breaks that single project because WinUI 3 apps are packaged together. So this packaging has images and the application. This is the WinUI 3 app itself. And then there is all of the Hello MAUI components that we saw earlier from the Android version. Now, an important bit here is that inside of Visual Studio, you need to make sure you select x64 if you have the 64-bit version of .NET 6 installed, and then setting the package as your startup here, you can go ahead and deploy locally to your machine. And what that will do is we'll go ahead and it will deploy the entire .NET MAUI application for debugging. So it's actually a very wide screen. Let's move it over. Here's this. And again, not all the formatting and things are coming over, but we can see the exact same project coming in here with the scroll bar and the .NET Bot SVG and the image and the click me, click me, click me, all happening here. I don't think that any of the hot reload stuff is in there just yet, again, because it's still evolving as we go on. So again, this is kind of cool because we're starting to see bits and pieces of this project come together. All right, so we already checked out how to do Android and WinUI 3 with .NET MAUI in .NET 6 Preview 3. Of course, this is still early, but there are 2 more platforms that we want to check out, including iOS and macOS with Catalyst support. So what we're going to do now is head over to our Mac that I have set up over here and get everything installed and ready to go. So let's check it out. All right, now what I want to do, of course, first is go ahead and install the .NET MAUI Check that we have over here. So we're going to install this in our global tool. Now you can, of course, install this as long as you have .NET installed. So as long as you have .NET 5 or .NET 3 or whatever installed, you should be good to go. So this is going to kind of run the setup scripts and everything that I need for this global tool to be installed. Now I've installed nothing basically on this machine, so this may take a little bit, but we're going to do MAUI check, and we're just going to go ahead and run through this line by line. So I'm going to figure out my entire configuration and just kind of ideally go to town here, which is really cool. Let's go ahead and allow. All right, it's going to start installing stuff. So we have Visual Studio, JDK. Let's go ahead and install some Android SDKs and get everything set up over here. And we'll just kind of wait around while it updates. All right, awesome. So far we have our SDKs and our emulators installed, but now we need to go ahead and install .NET 6. I have a lot of .NETs in here. So let's go ahead and install .NET 6 Preview 3. Here we go. All right, so let's go ahead now and we're going to enable the Sentinel checkup. So that'll install some stuff. And then also now the .NET SDKs, let's install those as well. This will be the iOS, Android, Mac Catalyst SDK support that it needs for the workloads, which is kind of cool. And then all the missing parts. So here we go. Yet again, this will include the templates and anything else that we may need. This is going to take a few minutes. So let's go to town. All right, so we're going to launch VS Code. I'm just going to do it in VS Code because, for me, I just like the terminals that are there. I can totally run all the commands myself. But let's go ahead and just make sure everything is up and running over here. Now, I opened the main folder. Remember, we don't want to open the subfolder just because of how the build tasks and everything's are working. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say terminal. I'm going to say new terminal over here. And what we're going to go ahead and do is take a look at that repo that we had earlier. So here's that repo. And we're going to go ahead and let's build Mac Catalyst first. So what we're going to do is just simply paste that in. And we're just running command line. So nothing specific with VS Code here, but this is going to build up our .NET MAUI Mac Catalyst application and deploy it. And just like that, we actually have our Mac Catalyst application there. I know sizing isn't working just quite yet, but we have sliders and entry and clicking going on all right here, which is quite cool. And our actual MAUI application is running a Mac desktop application. All right, now let's go ahead and run the iOS script over here. So now we'll do .NET build MAUI over here with iOS, paste that in. Now this is going to go through a compilation step, so it's going to restore everything. Now I'm assuming that it's going to be very similar to our Android project where I have to have the simulator up and running. I'm actually sure about that because I haven't actually run it yet. This is the first time running it over here. So this should build a simulator build for me, and then we should be good to go. So let's see, this may take a few seconds here to get up and running. So we'll give it a go and see what's going on. Now, the other thing I like to do though is always pin down over here an actual simulator so you can easily relaunch it without having to launch VS for Mac or Xcode, for example, and that will bring it up. And that's really easy to do. You just pin it to your taskbar whenever the simulator is running over there. So let's give it a few seconds and let's see what happens. Oh, it looks like it is going to launch an iOS simulator. It looks like it's my iPad Pro 12.9 inch. Very fascinating. That must be the default over there. I haven't really ran this simulator at all, so we'll go ahead and let it spin up here on my MacBook Pro from 2013. So this is my older machine. Let's give this a few seconds. There it is. Welcome to .NET MAUI. I can click, click, click. I got a slider going on here. I got my toggles, got my entry, everything that we saw earlier, which is nice. All right, well, there you have it. We have now gotten .NET MAUI all set up on our iOS, Android, Windows machine, and macOS machine, all running the same exact code in Preview 3. Now, what's really nice here is that you can actually start developing with kind of a code first UI. There is an extension on the App Store. I believe it's Comment by James Clancy. He's been Twitch streaming quite a bit over there and showing some of the cool work that they're progressing for hot reload in general. Again, these are early bits, and if you read some of the comments, it's like, hey, just check this out, give feedback. But what I've heard a lot of more than anything is people contributing to .NET MAUI, how easy it is to implement the handlers. But I hope that you really enjoyed this complete walkthrough from start to finish of everything .NET MAUI Preview 3 and .NET 6 Preview 2. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up over there on the YouTube. That goes into the Google algorithm of goodness and recommends this video to everybody else on the interwebs. And additionally, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you are up to date with all of the latest videos I put out right here. I want to thank each and every single one of you for the great comments that I've had on the channel and all the videos. And of course, keep that feedback coming. Thanks for watching.